everybody, and welcome to another digital transmission here from the STEM Lab. We are back in the building, and we thought we'd give you another simple 3D design tutorial for you on Tinkercad. So if you don't have one already, you can set up a free account on Tinkercad, and I'm going to teach you today how you can make your very own personalized keychain. We're going to make a rectangular one, but you can make just about anything with the techniques that we're going to teach you here today. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, here we are, everybody, at Tinkercad. This is the free website that you can go to, tinkercad.com. And if you click on Join Now, you'll be able to create a free account in the upper right-hand side. But if you have an account already, you can just sign right on in. Once you sign right on in, you're going to be greeted with this page. If you have a bunch of designs already, they're going to be listed down at the bottom. But if you are creating a new design like we're going to do today, just click right here where it says Create a New Design. Once you do that, Tinkercad is going to load our design workplane. Now, very quickly, if you are newer to Tinkercad, this is the way you move around. To zoom in and out on a computer, you use the wheel of the mouse. So that center wheel, you zoom in and out by just scrolling through the mouse. And to rotate your workplane around, kind of change the camera angle, which is essential in 3D design, or very important to do, you're going to use the right-hand side of the mouse. You're going to hold down on that and rotate your mouse left and right so that you can move your screen around. If you are on a tablet or some other device, in the upper left-hand side of your screen, you have this cube. You can just click on that cube and move it around, and that will rotate your view. If you need to zoom in and out, you have zoom in and zoom out right here. And everybody has the little home icon, which will take them back to the default view or their main original starting view. So we're going to make a simple keychain, and to do this, what we want to do is we want to bring our mouse over to the right-hand side of the screen, and you want to grab on the red box. Make sure you're choosing the red box and not the gray box. I'll talk about the difference in a few minutes, okay? So we're going to use the red box, and the red box is a solid shape that allows us to kind of manipulate its size and shape. By the way, if for some reason you don't see the red box, it's because this little tiny chevron right on the right corner of the screen is hiding the panel. So all you have to do is click on that and the panel will come right back out. I usually leave it out myself. Okay? Once you have your red cube in here, your solid cube in here, you can kind of rotate around and look at it. You're going to notice that we have a few things. Number one, we have corner pickup points, these white boxes in each corner. These will adjust the length and the width at the same time. We have these black pickup points, which are on each of the edges. Those adjust the length and width of the object independently. And then if we rotate to a side view, we can see that we have a height adjustment right here. So we're going to be adjusting the length, the width, and the height all together. This is the way it works. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold down on the bottom right white pickup point, which is in the corner, and I can just drag it. Now, I can also click inside these boxes, and what I want to do is I want to make a box that's about 20 wide by about 60 long. Okay? This is the beginnings of, or the dimensions of our keychain. So if I go up to a vertical view, you're going to see that we have the width 20 and the height of 60. Sorry, the length of 60. Okay. Next up, we want to change our height. So what I always do is I rotate down to a side view, so I'm looking at the object flat on. And I'm going to adjust the height adjustment, which is this box right up here. Grab that, and we're going to pull this down to 4. We're going to make it 4 millimeters thick, right there. I'm just pulling it down right down to 4. Now we've got a nice flat section for our keychain. Next up, we want to cut a hole right about here into our keychain so that the keychain can begin to, have a keychain attached to it. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the right-hand side, and instead of grabbing the orange cylinder, we're going to grab the gray one. Now, I told you I was going to tell you what the difference is between the two of them. Solid objects are those colors, like the red box, the orange cylinder. These are solid. Gray objects are denoted as holes. or objects that cut into something. So we're going to use a hole shape, and by the way, you can take almost any shape and transform it into a hole or a solid right up here in your shape box that appears when you have a shape selected. So we have this shape right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down. Now, we can shrink this manually by just pulling these and trying to get the size the same, but if I want to make a perfect circle, and I'm on a computer, I can hold Shift down on the keyboard, so the key Shift. While that's being held down, I can click on the corner and move this, and it'll adjust the length and the width at the exact same time. So I'm going to do something like, 7 millimeters is perfect. So it's got a diameter of 7 millimeters or a length and width of 7. Okay, good. I don't know about you, but this hole doesn't really look like it's in a good spot. So we're going to move it, and the way we're going to move it is we're going to select everything. We're going to select the cylinder, and we're going to select the rectangle. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go and left-click outside, so my mouse is up here. Left-click and drag a selection box around both objects. If you do this correctly, your shapes box will now say shapes with parentheses and then a number in there. Hopefully it's the number 2. Right now, if you see anything else in there, that means you have other shapes in there as well, but we're looking to just have 2. Once you have both those selected, we're going to go up to the top right. We're going to click on the Align tool. It looks like a line with 2 boxes coming out of it. You can also press the L key on your keyboard, but it's the Align tool. Okay, we click on that. And what you're going to notice is you're going to notice these dots that appear. And these are helping us to determine where we want everything to get aligned with. There are 3 dimensions, so you can have alignment along the width, the length, or if I rotate here, we can align it along the height also. You can see that right there. So all I want to do is I want to align this in the center of the width. So if I look, I have 3 dots on the width side. And there is the center one right here. I'm going to just click on that. 1 click, that's perfect. Looks pretty good. If I need to move the cylinder over, what I have to do is click on it, and I can either move it manually, or you can use your arrow keys to tap. The arrow keys on your keyboard will tap these guys into position. So now that I move this around, I'm going to just left click and drag, select everything, hit align again. Just make sure it's perfectly aligned, just like that. Okay. Next up, we are going to write our names on here. So to do that, we're going to scroll through our basic shapes, and you're going to find the text tool. It's usually in the right column, labeled text. You drag this over, and it's really big. You just plop it down. And your first inclination might be to start adjusting the length and width of this text, but let me tell you, don't do that yet. You'd just be adjusting the word text, and if your name is bigger or smaller, you're going to need to adjust this again, so save yourself the time. We're going to change what it says. To change what it says in the shape box, where it's the text shape box, there is a section labeled text right here. It also then says text. Well, clearly, we can just delete the words text here and write our name. So we'll write out Chris. If you're having trouble seeing your text because you're working red on red, what you can do to design easier is you can go up to where it says solid. And if you click on that, you'll get a whole bunch of colors. And you can choose a different color. Now, the colors you choose do not matter when you try to 3D print this. It would 3D print in whatever color filament you're using. So the only reason to use colors in here is to just get your shape right and help yourself see things. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the length and the width. I'm not going to hold shift on here. I'm going to kind of just manually do this a little bit until it looks nice. Something like that looks really, really good. Okay. I can manually adjust this also, but you may want to try to do left click and drag, select all 3 shapes again, and hit align in the upper right corner. And then click on the center. And usually that works out well. If you have letters that are below, like the line usually, like a P, like the letter P as in Peter, you might have some difficulty here So with the align tool, so you might have to manually align it. And if you're doing that, I recommend going into a top view. So I usually actually go right to the box here. I click on top, and then that gives me a pretty good view of the object right now. So this looks really good for the height, but what does it look like on the side? Ooh, the word Chris is really, really tall. We should shrink that. So we're going to click on the word Chris, which in this view looks a little bit like just a blob. So, but we're going to click on the blue word Chris, and we're going to get the height adjustment. We can see it's 10 millimeters tall, or 1 centimeter. So we're going to drag this down. We're going to make it, it's personal preference. I usually go between like 5 and 6. I'm going to go with 5 today. Make it nice and small. Okay. Now that all looks good. Check every single angle, look from all sides, look through the bottom. Looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select everything again. Left click drag, and that'll select everything. We have shapes 3, and we're going to click on group in the top corner here. Once you hit group, it's going to lock everything together. It usually makes it one solid color, but there we go. We have our keychain. You'll be able to stick a keychain right in the hole and then attach this to your set of keys, and you have it labeled however you want. You can even make interesting shapes if you wanted to. You could put wedges on there. You can get creative. Maybe you wanted like an L shape and you want to do something, you know, like this. And then align these right along this edge. So you can get really creative. Even make a keychain that looks like this. I'm going to delete that. I like the standard one. That's how it works. If you have any questions, you can contact us at the STEM Lab. But hopefully you got a really cool keychain, and I look forward to seeing your designs. Good luck, and take it easy. Bye-bye, everybody.